So today I'm here at CARMAX because they just released their earnings and they put out some very shocking numbers. So for this past quarter, their sales were actually up. So retail sales were up about 5.4% and wholesale sales were up 6.3%. And this is something that we're really seeing across the board. We're seeing that even these big auto manufacturers, these dealers, they're putting up higher sales. Now, see this all right here. This is going to be the reason. They have so much inventory, and this is not the same type of inventory levels we would have been able to see a year ago. And this is what I want to talk about. See, CARMAX is winning at this when a lot of these auto manufacturers, a lot of these dealers are not. Even though their sales are going up on the manufacturer side, well, they're not seeing profit increases like you see here at CARMAX. And in a big way, it's because CARMAX, they have room to move. They have margin that they're able to hit with a lot of these used vehicles because they can lower the prices that they're actually paying for these cars. As the market moves down, used car prices can go down. They can pay less money for the cars that they're bringing in here. So they sell more volume, but even with that volume, they can actually make more money on these cars. But these manufacturers, they can't do that because their MSRPs, they're not going down. The amount of money that they're having to pay to make their cars for is not going down. If anything, it's going up. So this is a function of the car market where, okay, we got more cars coming into the system, where it's a bad thing for a lot of these new car franchise dealers, and it's a bad thing for a lot of these manufacturers because they can't just charge the moon anymore because there's more competition out there. It's actually a very good thing for a company like CARMAX because they can have all this inventory sitting all the way around and they can be making less money per car. They can actually lower the amount of money that they're charging for each car and still end up making more money. Volume is a great thing for the used car market. Now, I get asked a lot about Mazdas. People want me to show them, check them out, and I usually don't when I come to CARMAX, but we'll check this one out. The stickers on the inside, we can look at the inside. This is one good thing about CARMAX that I really like is you can go and look on the inside of any of these cars, and that's pretty cool. It's got third row seats. That one's folded down, but the setup's pretty nice. This one's a 2021 Mazda CX-9 Carbon Edition. It's got 47,000 miles on it. Price on it, $29,000. So another thing that I want to point out with volumes is that volume, money changing hands, transactions happening are very good for the used car market, and it's good for everyone. And I'm here at CARMAX and I can talk a little bit about that because we can see in CARMAX's numbers that, okay, they were able to sell more cars and they were selling them at a lower price than what they were last year, and they ended up making more money. Let's go back through that. So CARMAX is giving the customer a better deal. They're selling their cars for cheaper this year than they were last year, and they're making more money because they're doing volume. All right, manufacturers, let's take some notes here from CARMAX. What did they say? I mean, Jeep is like, oh, well, lower prices, make more money? That doesn't make any sense. Well, you sell more vehicles. And in the used car space, it's very important for velocity of money, for transactions to happen, to go through the car market, because it's just going to help everyone involved. So you have more volume, more transactions happening, creates more competition, lowers the price for the consumer. Consumer will buy more cars, thus car dealers like a CARMAX, like me, will sell more volume, will make more money. Car auctions will have more cars to move through the system because new car dealers will be selling more cars too. As these prices come down, you have more inventory in the system, which further pushes prices down, which should in turn allow used car dealers like myself, like CARMAX, to buy cars for cheaper. We can then lower our prices and we can sell more cars. More cars you sell, more money you can make. Oh my goodness, what just happened? Okay, prices come down, car buyers can buy more cars. Dealers can make more money. It's not what's been happening over the last few years, but now we're seeing it today here at CARMAX from these earnings. Okay, we sell more cars, we sell them for a cheaper price, we can make more money because we're buying them right, and we sell more cars, make more money. All right, so this is interesting. I want to show you, point out this this Toyota RAV4 right here. This is a 2024, it's an XLE, and it's got 20,000 miles on it. This is the price here at CARMAX. It's $32,000. And I come down here to my phone and I found a brand new one. No miles, and it is cheaper. Look, this one's 32,000 miles, XLE, same trim level, 2024 Toyota RAV4 XLE, and it's cheaper, brand new, than CarMax is selling this this used one with 20,000 miles. How can that be? I show this a lot, where CarMax can sell a used vehicle with quite a few miles on it, 20,000 miles, for more than what you can buy a brand new one for. Well, there's a couple little reasons here. One is the obvious, and I see this in the comments all the time when I show this. Well, when you get to the dealership, it's not going to be a $30,000 RAV4. You're going to have to pay for paint protection. You're going to have to pay for all their packages. Nitrogen, my favorite. You're going to have to pay their dock fee. So that $30,000 RAV4, as soon as you walk in the door, automatically becomes like a $35,000 or $36,000 RAV4. And well, all that is true. And now, right now, I've had some viewers that I've seen that have been able to get some money off of RAV4s. I actually helped one, and he was able to get 10% off of MSRP. So there are dealerships out there that you can find even something like a RAV4 that's very highly desirable, where you can get money off of it. You can get it less than MSRP. But let's throw that out the window. Let's say, okay, yeah, it's going to be more expensive than that. Even so, if you're paying $3,000 or $4,000 for a brand new one versus one that's got 20,000 miles, wouldn't the consumer rather go to that brand new one? And in most cases, the answer is yes. So then how does that exist where you have it at a CarMax where they're non-negotiable? You just pay the price and that's it. Well, the case is credit. And that consumer that is going to go pay less potentially for that RAV4 at a Toyota dealership, well, they might not be able to get approved at that Toyota dealership. And here is where CarMax can take that customer away from that Toyota dealership and charge them more than what they would buy for a brand new one. And it's because CarMax can write that consumer a loan at 23% interest, and that customer will pay it, and they'll pay more for a used vehicle with 20,000 miles than they would for a brand new one, because they have no ability to buy that brand new one, but they still want that newish RAV4. So they're forced to come here if they want to buy that RAV4 and sign up for payments with CarMax because they just can't get approved at that Toyota dealership. They can't get approved for Wells Fargo. They can't get approved through their credit union. So go to CarMax, pay 23% interest, and they get to drive around in that shiny new RAV4 with 20,000 miles, and then everybody's happy, except for their bank account. And they're probably not happy about 3 to 4 months later whenever it gets repoed. All right, and this Mazda has been put on house arrest. You can tell by that the lockbox is down on the wheel because I guess they weren't able to put it on the windshield. But this is a 2020 Mazda MX-5. It's got they're selling for $28,000. Usually I don't pick out cars like this, but it's locked down. So here's probably the most alarming part about this whole earnings report for the car market and for dealers in general. Well, the amount of vehicles that CarMax bought from dealers was up 46.7% in this past quarter. That's an insane number. What does that mean? Well, what can dealers do to get rid of some of their inventory that maybe they've had for too long? Maybe they're paying too much on their interest. Maybe they have to move them because they have more vehicles coming in. If they're just in trouble in general and they need to get rid of vehicles, well, who's going to pay them? Who's going to pay them really quickly? CarMax will. So this is alarming to me because it seems like used car dealers and new car dealers should not be selling a lot of their inventory to a place like CarMax. They should be able to sell it themselves. And for them to be dumping some of their inventory to CarMax, giving CarMax a good deal because CarMax can pay same day, that's very alarming to me because that's showing me that a lot of these dealers, a lot of these, whether they be franchise dealers or used car dealers, are in emergency mode at this point where they have so much inventory that they have to figure out creative ways to get rid of it. And the creative way that we're seeing through CarMax's numbers right now is showing me that they're dumping them here at CarMax. They're getting an instant check. They're taking a lot less money than what they have in that car because CarMax is not going to pay top dollar to these dealers for these cars. They're not going to pay these dealers what they have in these cars. These dealers are losing money by selling these cars to CarMax, and CarMax is reaping all the benefit because CarMax sets the prices. They set the market. They're going to tell that dealer, okay, well, I'm going to pay you this, and that's it. And that dealer says yes or no. And a lot of these dealers, even though they're probably getting raked over the coals with the prices that they have to sell these cars to, they're saying yes. And that's scary for the car market. It's scary for a lot of dealers because they shouldn't have to do that. They should be able to lower their prices enough at their dealerships to sell them to consumers and not have to dump them and create quick money to a place like CARMAX. And even CARMAX has to deal with this right here. Yep, all these trees, they lose their leaves, and then they pile up right there. Right, every car they're gonna pile up right there, and it gets junky. I do that same thing on all my cars at my car dealership, and I feel the pain of CARMAX having all of these cars that they have to continuously keep cleaned up. And wintertime's rough, especially with the leaves. So one of the big reasons why CARMAX can succeed in an environment like this is because they're just a big glorified buy here, pay here dealer. What does that mean? Well, it means that they actually write a lot of their own loans. So they can approve a lot of consumers that maybe not be able to get approved at other places. You think big financial institutions like Wells Fargo, your Capital Ones, even when they go into like a Ford dealership and they're getting financed through Ford. Well, let me show you what a consumer is actually paying for this easy approval. So we'll look at this. This is a Jeep right here. And go over to it. It's a 2021 Jeep Compass Altitude. It's got 35,000 miles. Price on it is only $23,000. I know, a lot of money. I say only $23,000, but in this car market, for a 2-3-year-old car, that's actually under the average. The average is somewhere around like $25,000 for a used vehicle in this range. So they're under average price of what you're going to find for some of these newer used vehicles. But here's the thing. Challenge credit. They're paying 23% interest. And what's that monthly payment? $591 a month. That's this consumer that's challenged, and in a lot of cases, a consumer is going to come here and pay this $23,000 for this Jeep because it's really their only option. This is the only place that they're going to be able to get that loan. But for that, they're paying that 23% interest and $591 a month for a $23,000 vehicle. Absolutely insane. But that is what a consumer is coming in here, and this is what they get to pay, because CARMAX is really one of the only resorts of how they can get put into one of these vehicles, because if they go somewhere else, they try to go to their credit union, get a loan, they're not going to be able to do it. So what do they have to do? They have to come here and pay 23% interest on a vehicle. So let's go through some of the numbers of their actual changes in their prices and how much they're making. So their gross profit per vehicle is up $29 on every retail vehicle. So they're making $2,306 per vehicle. And this is something that's very interesting to me, because we have the situation where they're paying less for cars, where their average selling price has gone down. And I've got that number right here too. It says their average selling price per vehicle is down $1,100. On each and every car, they're selling it for $1,100 less. But even though they're doing that, they're still making more money per car. So what does all this mean? Well, that means that they're buying cars better. And this is something that's very, very important, and something to think about, and why CARMAX is doing such a good job of this, because they're moving with the market. This is an advantage that someone like CARMAX is going to have over like a small used car dealer like me, or even your franchise dealers, because your franchise dealers, they have set costs, they have a set price that they have to pay for their cars. But CARMAX can move with the market, and they can move in front of the market because they set their own prices. When a customer comes in, how CARMAX gets a lot of their cars is by actually buying them from consumers that want to bring their cars in to CARMAX and sell them. CARMAX gives them a price, a set price off of what they think the market's going to do, and then the customer can either say yes or no. No negotiation, yes or no, that's it. So CARMAX, in these cases, is setting the price of the market in their particular store. Small used car dealer like me, I'm not setting the market. I go to the auction is setting the market. I could choose to buy the car yes or no by raising my hand and stopping at a certain limit. But if I want to have a car, if I want to load my inventory up, I have to pay whatever the market is going to pay for that car. When I say the market, for me, it's all these other used car dealers that are bidding on these cars against me. CarMax, not like that. CarMax sets the market. They set their own market. They choose what they want to pay for these cars. And right now, they're buying cars right. And we can see that in the numbers because their prices are coming down, but the amount that they're making per vehicle is going up. Very, very good for a company like CarMax right now. And it's no secret right now, you can see all these cars that are stacked this way, see all these cars right here stacked this way, and then you have the regular cars in the spaces that are faced the right way. Well, the amount of cars that they've bought over this last quarter is up 8%, and that's why I'm saying it's no secret, because when we come out to these CarMax stores, their cars parked freaking everywhere, and this was not the case this time last year. And it's just an element of, okay, there is more money that's changing hands, there's more velocity of money that's moving through the system. In the car market, there are more transactions getting done, there are more consumers that are getting new cars, there are more consumers that are trading in their cars to CarMax, there are more consumers that are selling their cars to CarMax, and CarMax is taking advantage of that. They're wanting to buy more vehicles right now, and we have something that's right around the corner that a company like CarMax wasn't able to prepare for last year, but they are this year. And we have the biggest season of the year for used car dealers. Now, for new car dealers, for franchise dealers, manufacturers, the busiest time of the year is right at the end of the year. And the reason for that is because incentives come out and end of the year goals come out, and all of these franchise dealers, they want to hit their end of the year goals because they get big time money from manufacturers for hitting these goals. And on top of that, you have manufacturers who have models that, well, right now they got 2024 still sitting on a lot of lots, but they want to push out 2025 models. And I mean, this is an easy example. All these Jeeps that are sitting on these dealer lots, there's tons and tons and tons of 2024s sitting on the lots, and manufacturers want those out because they want to send 2025s to these dealers right now. So you have big time sales at the end of the year. Busiest time of the year for new car dealers, for manufacturers, end of the year. Not the same for a used car dealer like myself or like a CarMax. Biggest time of the year for us is when people get tax checks. Now, for me, I'm a used car dealer that sells cars that are $5,000 and under. So when people get tax checks, they can usually buy cars outright from me. They don't have to take out any loans. They get a tax check for $3,500. They come to my lot. They're able to buy a car for $3,500. They own it. They can't really do that here because most of the cars that are sitting out here are going to be $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, and people don't get tax returns that are that much. But what they do get is they get enough to put a down payment on one of these cars. You can look at one of these Jeep Cherokees right here. Obviously, they're not getting a check for $35,000, but they'll put a down payment of that $3,500. With Challenge Credit, they're going to sign up for that 874 month payment. That's the thing. So even used car dealers like CarMax that have more expensive cars like this, they'll get busier around tax refund season because people can then have the money to come put down payments. They'll sign up for the payment plan here at CarMax, and they'll start rolling cars. And this is why you see a store like this. I mean, all these cars right here, and every row at this CarMax is lined up just like this. They have cars sitting everywhere. And I think it's a very good thing because CarMax right now is preparing for tax season to come in. And this is why we're seeing a lot of this inventory. This is why in this past quarter, the amount of cars that they bought was up 8%. It's a good thing for CarMax. So one thing that that is interesting and very good for CarMax is that, okay, their internet sales have actually gone up and gone up quite a bit over the last year or so. And it's a trend that we're seeing continue even in this earnings reports. Their internet sales were up. And we know that Amazon just came out and had this partnership with Hyundai where they're going to help Hyundai sell a lot of cars online. You have Carvana that's seemingly killing it from their stock price. There might be some creative accounting to account for in those numbers, but either way, Carvana seems to be doing well at this moment. It seems like a lot of the market is shifting to not wanting to actually go put their hands on cars. What do they want to do? They want to use a car buying service. So you think of who's popping up right now with helping people buy cars. It's CarEdge, it's Delivered. You're seeing that pop up on YouTube. You're seeing now Amazon get into the mix. You're seeing Carvana be successful. people are getting more lazy and they don't want to deal with car dealers. They don't want to deal with shopping for cars. They don't want to deal with negotiation or haggling. So what are they doing? They're going the easy way out. And I know, I'm a millennial, so I know my whole generation, they're lazy and stupid. And you know what? That's what they're choosing to do. They're choosing the lazy way out, and they're paying more for that. And CarMax is taking advantage of that because we see their internet sales are up, and it's a trend I think we're going to continue to see. And I think CarMax is a good company. I think they're smart. I think they're managed well. And I really think that they're looking towards the future, and they're doing it at a good pace. They're starting slow, and they're slowly building this this part of their business up. And I think that's the right way to do it. And I think they're doing a good job as far as how they're managing their own lot sales. I mean, you see all these cars here, and then slowly shifting to that online model. This is a good choice, I think.